Revelation 12 stands as a beacon of profound symbolism and apocalyptic imagery, offering a glimpse into the spiritual realm and the cosmic battle that rages between good and evil. This pivotal chapter unveils a dramatic panorama of celestial warfare, pitting heavenly beings against each other in a struggle for dominance and the fate of humanity. The chapter's significance lies in its unveiling of the spiritual realities that underpin the physical world, reminding us that our earthly struggles are often reflections of a greater cosmic conflict. The language of Revelation is rich in symbolism, drawing heavily upon Old Testament imagery and prophecy. Understanding these symbols is crucial to unlocking the chapter's deeper meaning. The vivid descriptions of the woman, the dragon, and the male child are not mere literary devices, but representations of spiritual entities and realities that have profound implications for our understanding of God, Satan, and the ongoing struggle between good and evil. Revelation 12 serves as a timely reminder that the Christian faith is not merely a set of abstract beliefs, but a call to engage in a spiritual battle that has eternal consequences. The chapter's message is one of hope and encouragement, assuring believers that even amidst trials and tribulations, God's ultimate victory is assured. By delving into the rich tapestry of symbolism and allegory that permeates Revelation 12, we gain a deeper appreciation for the spiritual realities that shape our world and the unwavering faithfulness of God, who ultimately triumphs over evil. Revelation 12 verse 1 introduces us to a woman clothed with the sun, with the moon under her feet, and on her head, a crown of 12 stars. This striking image, rich in symbolism, has captivated interpreters for centuries. The woman, adorned with celestial bodies, represents God's people, both Israel and the church, chosen and adorned with his glory. The sun's radiance enveloping her speaks to God's righteousness covering his people. Just as the sun illuminates the world, God's glory shines upon his chosen ones, setting them apart and marking them as his own. The moon beneath her feet, reflecting the sun's light, signifies God's people reflecting his glory in the world, even amidst the darkness. The crown of 12 stars upon her head points to the 12 tribes of Israel and the 12 apostles, symbolizing God's covenant faithfulness and the establishment of his kingdom. This imagery evokes Joseph's dream in Genesis 37, where the sun, moon, and 11 stars bowed down to him, foreshadowing the future exaltation of Israel. This woman, pregnant and crying out in birth pangs, represents God's people awaiting the promised Messiah, their longing mirroring the anticipation of Israel for the coming deliverer. Her cry echoes the cries of all creation groaning for redemption and the consummation of God's plan. Revelation 12 verse 3 unveils a fearsome antagonist, a great red dragon having 7 heads and 10 horns and 7 diadems upon his heads. This monstrous figure, identified as that ancient serpent called the devil and Satan, embodies the forces of evil arrayed against God and his people. The dragon's red color symbolizes bloodshed and destruction, reflecting Satan's role as a murderer from the beginning, as described in Genesis. His 7 heads and 10 horns represent his vast power, dominion over earthly kingdoms, and the pervasive influence of evil throughout history. The 7 diadems, symbols of royalty and authority, highlight Satan's attempt to usurp God's rightful place as ruler over creation. The dragon's portrayal harks back to the serpent in the Garden of Eden, who deceived Adam and Eve, bringing sin and death into the world. This connection underscores the continuity of Satan's rebellion against God and his relentless efforts to thwart God's plan of redemption. Throughout Scripture, dragons are often associated with chaos, destruction, and opposition to God. The imagery of the dragon serves as a stark reminder of the spiritual forces at work in the world, seeking to deceive, destroy, and lead humanity astray from God. Section 4. The Male Child, a Promise of Hope and Deliverance. As the cosmic drama unfolds, a glimmer of hope emerges in Revelation 12, verse 5. She brought forth a male child, who was to rule all nations with a rod of iron. This male child, snatched up to God and his throne, represents Jesus Christ, the promised Messiah, born into a world shrouded in darkness. The imagery of the male child ruling all nations with a rod of iron alludes to Psalm 2, verse 9, and speaks of Christ's ultimate victory over all earthly powers and his establishment of God's eternal kingdom. His ascension to God's throne signifies his victory over sin and death, and his enthronement as King of Kings and Lord of Lords. The child's birth and ascension parallel Jesus' birth, ministry, death, resurrection, and ascension into heaven. Just as Jesus was born into humble circumstances yet destined for greatness, so too is this male child, a beacon of hope for a world in desperate need of redemption. This passage underscores the truth that despite the dragon's attempts to thwart God's plan, God's purposes will not be frustrated. The birth and ascension of the male child represent a decisive victory in the cosmic battle, assuring believers that ultimate victory belongs to Christ. Section 5. War in the Heavens, Michael's Triumph over the Dragon. Revelation 12 verses 7-9 describes a cataclysmic battle in the heavenly realms, and war broke out in heaven. Michael and his angels fought with the dragon, and the dragon and his angels fought, but they did not prevail, nor was a place found for them in heaven any longer. This celestial war, a conflict of cosmic proportions, pits the forces of good against the forces of evil. Michael, the Archangel, leads God's army against the dragon and his demonic hordes. Michael, whose name means "who is like God," stands as a defender of God's people and a champion against evil. The battle depicts the spiritual warfare that rages unseen around us, a constant struggle between the forces of light and darkness. The dragon's defeat and expulsion from heaven mark a decisive victory for God and his people. This victory, however, does not come without consequences. The dragon, filled with rage, turns his attention towards the woman and her offspring, those who remain faithful to God. This celestial war serves as a reminder that the Christian life is not a passive existence, but an active battle against spiritual forces. It is a call to put on the armor of God and stand firm in our faith, knowing that we are engaged in a cosmic conflict with eternal consequences.